Hey folks, I was on my website this week and I noticed a particular training that stats were telling me that people kept coming back to. And it was a training I did in August explaining a chart that I have on the website, and that chart is kind of explaining how to use suspended and diminished chords. So I decided to take a portion of that training and share it with those of you who are on YouTube. Now, the training was done on Zoom, okay, so then the results on the audio may not all be there, but and the fancy graphics and everything. But I think there's enough content, great content there that they can make a difference with you. So go ahead and enjoy the video, and here's a portion of that training. Hello everybody. Sean Wilson here with the members. We are having important training for you guys today. I've recently, well, not recently, last year actually, I released two charts. One is the suspended chord chart, and the other one is the diminished chord chart. A lot of people don't know how to use them, and so I didn't feel like a lot of people were getting the best value out of that. So this training is really just basically showing you how to use those charts, how to get the best value out of them. If you're currently a member, then you can get these charts by simply going to the checklist section. We also have them on the home page. And if you're listening to this somewhere else and you're not a member, this is a great time to join. We have a great community over here, and we just have fun, guys. So this was a amazing community. So I want to invite you to join as well. So basically, let's go through this. What I want to do is I want to start with a suspended chord chart. And if you are listening today and you're live, go ahead and take the chart out. It's going to look like this, called Suspended Chords. If you came into the chat later, go ahead and grab that. It's a download that you can find in the chat. So go ahead and look at this. And what I want to do is, as you're looking at the suspended chord chart, what I want to do is I want to look and just kind of go slowly on how this works. Okay, so you have two types of sus chords, right? And again, I like to gear all my training to gospel. So this is from what I have learned and transcribed and things like that for gospel. So it may work if you're a jazz person. It may work a little bit differently. So keep that in mind. But the sus2 chord, it usually replaces the major chord, and it sounds best when when the third scale degree is dropped one octave. So um, Jesus loves me, this I know. On the word I know, it should be a D major chord. So we're talking about the differences between the sus2 and the sus4, right? So the sus2, I'm going to replace, because this Jesus loves me, this I know, it's just a regular old D major chord. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it to replace the major chord. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, here's sus2 here, and I'm going to do a D, E, and an A. And then what this chart also says, it sounds best when the third scale degree. So now let me go to a different thing, and I'm going really fast here, but I'm just kind of, this is a really easy principle here. So it's here. So we said play this. So remember, anytime you want to replace the major, you could replace it with the sus. And I said it sounds great. It sounds great when the third degree, 1, 2, 3, is dropped in octave. Whereas let me go back to the screen here and keynote. Whereas the sus4, which is this row, is going to replace the dominant. Okay, you guys seeing this? This is really cool. The sus2 replaces the major chord. The sus4 replaces the dominant chord, and it's going to be used as a basis for all the other types of chords in the chart. So in other words, this sus2 is the only chord in this chart that will replace a major chord. The sus4, look at this. Check this out. Okay, I'm going to make this bigger because I want you guys to see this, because this is really cool, and the way I'm teaching it, everybody can understand this. So check this out. Y'all see the sus4 says C, F, G. Now I want you to notice that the C and the F are in the sus7 sus4. The 9 sus4 has a C and an F, and even the 13 has a C and F. So that's why the sus4 is really the basis for all of the other ones. That's why I said sus2 stands alone, and sus4, these can all be used in the same way the sus4 is used. Once you know how to use a sus4, you know how to use a 7 sus4, you know how to use a 9 sus4, and you know how to use a 13 sus. Okay, so it's really cool. Okay, now let me give an example.
Sean, we have a quick question.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna, I think that question is gonna be answered while I was speaking. That's why I didn't address it just quite yet. Let me zoom
Okay.
out. The four of the sus chord will always move to the three. Very, very, very important, guys. The sus4 will always move to the three. Happy birthday to you. Right? Now, if I were to use a sus2, I don't have to resolve it. Happy birthday to you. See that? I don't need to change anything. So I need you guys to understand something. The sus2, that first column here, is showing you what replaces major chords. They don't need to resolve. But the sus4, whether you play this one, this one, this one, or this one, will need to resolve. There's an exception with the 13 sus that I want to bring up. All right, so now that I've gone over sus2 and sus4, the 4 will always move to the 3. Let's go to the 9 sus4, and actually I meant 7. But now this particular chord here, 9 sus4, I have a whole video on it, just on this one column here. Okay, I have a whole video on that. It's right here. It's the one I did a couple weeks ago. Jada, give me a song real quick. Or Siobhan. Or give me a song or a hymn.
A song.
It is well.
There you go. He did that before, but that might work well for this.
Okay, so like a river. Now, what am I doing here? I'm doing a G sus. Well, it doesn't look like a G sus, Sean. How do you know to do a G sus? Well, the reason I know to do a G sus there is ten my way on the word is a dominant chord. Now listen closely to me, because if you get this, it's going to be simple. Okay, if you get this, it's going to be simple. I said that the sus4 can replace the dominant chord. Okay? So that means that all I need to do is find where I would use a dominant chord. And because I'm doing here's a dominant chord. So, because that's my dominant chord, all right, Sean, show me how to build it. Show me how to build it all the way up to what you just did. All right, I'm gonna show you how to build it all the way up so you guys can see. So I want you to see step by step how this thing works. All right, so we're gonna build it. First, I'm gonna start with, there we go. First, I'm trying to start with this right here, because this is the sus. We know that the sus4 is the second column here. There's a chord there. Here's, you can use that. Any of you guys can use this. This is what's cool. Any song that has a dominant chord, replace it with the sus4, and always remember to move the 4 to a 3. So I'm gonna go from this G. See, if you're at your piano right now, follow me, because this is simple. The C moves down to a B. Okay? Now, let's go to the 7 sus4. That's even better. Why is it better? Because in a dominant chord, I have a G, F. So now I'm going to go from a C to a B, but the F is already there in the dominant. So I'm doing a 7 sus4 now. No, please, see, I went from C to the B. See how easy this is, guys? Now watch this. Now I'm going to go up here. Now I'm going to use this chord. And now I'm doing a 9 sus4. And because I'm doing a 9 sus4, it's going to look like the thing that I did here. So check this out. So I need to do G, C, F, A. G, C, F, A. Okay. Uh-oh, now I like that, someone said. But that's the chord that we have in the chart. And so long as I know, man, this is some good teaching here. So long as I know when to use a sus4, which is only 3 notes, I can use any complicated version of that. And I could play it in drop 2, I could play it in whatever. You can get as complicated as you want. But the root is knowing when just to use just the regular sus4. And again, it replaces the dominant. Okay, so this is where that came from. Let me go all the way over. Now, by the way, when I use this here, when I use the 9 sus4, the 4, remember the rule, the 4 always goes to a 3, but the 9, if you're playing this level, see, that's why it depends on where you're at. If you're playing at the level of the 7 sus4, you only move the 4 to a 3. But if you've passed that level and you're playing a 9 sus4, then you're playing 4 to 3 and 9 to flat 9 or 9 to a whole step. So either 9 goes down a whole step or a half step. Let's look at seeing how both of those look. Because I'm building this thing little by little. I want to make sure everybody gets it. So I'll do half step first. Sounds good, nice. When I looked into the eyes of the hills, I will lift up mine eyes to the hills. There it is again. Sean, how are you knowing when to do that? Because it replaces a dominant chord. And as long as I know, I have a big course on dominant chord so that everybody knows where to put a dominant chord. I will lift up my eyes to the hills, my help coming from the Lord. And then I'm about to go, Lord, which way? It's an E flat minor. How do I approach an E flat minor? From the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna play a dominant. And then Sean says, oh, we'll just play anywhere you play a dominant, you can just play that sus. So now I gotta go, the power of the chart. The power of the chart. So now I say, okay, I need a B flat. So what am I gonna play on that B flat? The B flat dominant. Well, I'm gonna go to the chart and look for it. There it is right there, B flat. And now I'm at this level. I haven't even done 13 sus. So I'm gonna play the B flat, E flat, A flat, and C. B flat, E flat, A flat, and C. I will lift up my eyes to the hill from above, my help coming from the Lord. And it sounds good. And all I have to know is where to put a dominant. See how easy that is? Now, let me go down half step. The half step will be, whole step. See, if I do half steps, remember, the 4 always goes down to the 3. I started on the B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 goes down to 3. 1, 2, 3. So E flat move down. The 4 will always move down to a 3, no matter which one you use. It's the 9 that can change. And so at C, do you want the C to go down to a half step? Or do you want to go down to a whole step? It's up to you. I did half step the first time. Let's see how it sounds whole step. Right? It's a different sound. It's a different sound. And you need to be intentional. Those of you who are intermediate and advanced musicians, You want to be intentional. Do I want a half or a whole? They are not the same. Which one do you like? And be intentional about what you want to use, right? Anyway, my iPad's messing up. Let me go. All right, so check this out. Let me go on to the next type here.